Howdy everyone. I'm back at it again. It's a beautiful fall day here in Minnesota. I'll be honest, it's been a few weeks since I've been out in the kayak. I've been kind of relying on old footage for my weekly video uploads. Yeah, my girlfriend and I, we bought a new house at the end of September, so for the past few weeks I've been pretty much spending all my time filling holes in drywall, rolling paint, getting the place all ready to move in, and now we're starting to move our stuff from the old place to the new, so we've got about 100 projects going on. I figured I was about due for a little break from all that to come out here for some quality time on the water. We're going to try to find some smallies today. I've got myself rigged up with one of my favorite lures for this time of year, the Bass Assassin Elite Shiner. I've got that guy rigged up on a little 3/16 ounce Kayak round head jig. Yeah, for 2 of those 3 weeks I had to take off. We had some cold weather anyway. It was below freezing for about a week straight, so I probably wouldn't have been out much in my kayak anyway. But it's got the water cooled off pretty quick. We're down to about 44.5 degrees right now, so last time I was out, those smallies were still smashing topwater. I think now they're definitely going to be in their fall spots. So we'll start by fishing our way around this island. There's some scattered rocks, a couple weed beds. That'll find some smallies roaming around this time of year. And there's a couple of points farther down this way we'll go try too. There we go. Oh yeah, that feels like a good fish too. Oh yeah, nice smallie. Come here, little buddy. Well, heck yeah, I will take that for the first fish of the day. Settle down so I can grab you. Look at that. Beauty of a smallmouth. Yeah, he dumped that Bass Assassin Elite Shiner. Oh yeah, that's always a nice, satisfying feeling. Beauty of a fish. All right, we're on the board. Oh, here we go. This is a bass or a pike? Feels more pikey. I don't know. Oh, that's a bass. Thought it was a pike at first. I wasn't really feeling any head shakes. But then he saw me. Decided it was time to put up a fight. Oh yeah, there's a nice one. All right, come here. These fish just get ornery when the water cools off. They do not want to sit still for me to grab them. Look at that. Absolute tank of a bass. I have to stick that one on the measuring stick. Get a quick length on him. He's about 18 1/4. Nice, thick fall smallie. Yeah, it feels good to hold on to one of them again. That's why I'm working that jig somewhat slow with the water temps in the mid-40s. I'm just hopping them along the bottom. But as it gets colder, as that water gets below 40, a lot of times I'll have to slow it down even more and just slow drag it along the bottom like that. But today, those fish seem like they're thumping pretty hard still. Like all I've got to do is get it in front of them and give it a little action and they should go for it. There we go. Ooh, we got a jumper. Come on up here, you. Well, there's a nice one. Come on up here. Yeah, they are all over that Bass Assassin Elite Shiner. Definitely one of my favorite lures this time of year. A lot of these fish are just feeding on little minnows and bait fish. It's a nice finesse presentation, which is great when the water starts getting cold. Yeah, I really don't want to throw anything too big at those fish. They seem to prefer the smaller offerings this time of year when that water's cold. Get good size and good numbers throwing that Bass Assassin Elite Shiner. I could probably throw the wacky worm out here today. That always works well too, but a lot of these fish are in a little bit deeper water than I really like to fish the wacky worm in. You can get that jig down in front of them a little bit quicker. There's another nice one. Wow, look at that. Just hammering them off of this island over here. Back-to-back casts, 2 quality fish. Man, that's awesome. Give it one more cast right over there where I caught that first fish of the day. So I worked my way around the island. Pretty good start to the day. We caught several nice smallies over here. But there are a couple other spots I want to go check out, so once I get this cast in, we're going to keep paddling, I think. Yeah, I'll maybe give it one more. That one might have been a little bit too deep. We'll give it one more cast there. Oh, look at that. Nice big thump. Just about ready to paddle to the next spot. I've finished my loop around this little island here. Oh, that's not even a bass. That's a pike. Well, at least he's hooked in a good spot where I don't have to retie. I need new plastic though. Not a bad pike. But I think we've caught all the bass off of this spot. Pike are starting to bite over here. That means it's time for me to keep paddling. So right up ahead of me here, we've got a point that leads into this bay. It's a little bit of a hump that extends out off that point. Usually there will be some weeds growing on top of that hump. This time of year it'll typically be holding some fish though. Might have to work my way in a little bit to find them, but I figured I'd start out here at the deep end and work my way in. We'll try the outer edge of those weeds right over there. See if that's where my bass buddies are hanging out. I'll have to fish my way in this way a little bit too, because there is a bit of a trough. Oh, there was something. As I was saying, there's a bit of a trough between the hump, then it gets deeper, and then it gets shallow going into the bay. I just had something give my jig a little bump over there. There's definitely fish over here. The wind is starting to pick up a little bit. There's one. There we go. That's the kind of fish I'm looking for. Jeez, I get them in the net and they just want to thrash. I'm gonna let him settle down. Oh, come here. Get you unhooked, take a quick look at you, and don't worry, we'll get you back in the water. There's something. Oh, he's coming up to jump like a smallie, maybe. Yeah. They're like, nope, you are not going to grab me today. Just a little guy. Not a bad fish at all. Get that plastic fixed back up. That's one reason why I really like the Bass Assassin Elite Shiners compared to the kayak. I forgot what they even call their version of that, but I've fished the kayak ones plenty, and I mean, they work great, they catch fish, they just get torn up after a fish or two, whereas the Bass Assassin ones, I can usually catch 4 or 5 fish on them before I have to replace that plastic. So they're pretty similar. The Bass Assassin ones are just a little bit more durable, which I like. Less time rigging, more time fishing. That's always a good thing. I'll leave links for all the gear I'm using out here today in the video description down below. It's a good way to help support my channel by using those links. Another little guy here. I just get them in the net and they freak out today. You'd think they'd calm down a little bit with that cold water, but it seems like it's just the opposite. There we go. Not a bad fish. Oh, here we go. I just went to bounce my jig there and had a fish on. Is it a smallie? Oh yeah, it's a smallie. It's a nice one too. Come there, you. Oh, he caught my net with the hook. There we go. Wow, look at that. Nice thick fall smallie. Man, I'm just having a blast out here today. There's one. Oh yeah, that feels like something decent. Turning my kayak. Oh yeah. Nice smallie. Come on up here. Alright, time to freak out. Oh, gotcha. Pretty fish, look at that. Just nailing that bass assassin minnow today. We'll see if we can catch one more off of this point. Then it's going to be time to keep moving on to the next spot, I think. There's another point really similar to this one, a little bit farther down. It leads into a little bit smaller bay. But that's usually a good spot this time of year. There's also a big hump over here that will typically have some weeds growing on top until mid-November or so. That spot will usually be holding something too, so we'll probably try both those spots. See if we can find a few more. We'll give it a couple more casts here, then I think it's going to be time to move. I worked my way around the corner in just a little bit there, and it seemed like that's where most of the fish were off of this point today. In toward the bay a little bit farther. Oh, here's one. Hey, look at that, it's a largemouth. Come here. The water's cold, I don't want to be dipping my hand into there too much. There we go. decent largemouth. That's kind of a bonus catch out here. I don't catch a whole lot of largies on this lake. But we found him, bonus pike, and a few smallies off of this point. I think it's time to keep paddling on to the next spot. Here we go. Oh, that's a big smallie, you guys. Well, I made it over here to this shallow hump. I almost got caught up in my power pole anchor mount back there. Jeez, look at this. Very first cast off of this spot. That might be the biggest smallie of the day so far. Come here. Look at that. Beauty of a fish. He's got some black spots on his lip there. We'll get a length on that one. About 18 and a quarter. Well, he's tied for the biggest one of the day. Just a beauty of a fish, though. Oh, whoops. Well, I like to see that. We'll see if that one's got a few buddies roaming around over here. So yeah, like I said, we've got a shallow hump. As you can see, we're getting real shallow off to the side. There's usually some weeds growing in here up until, I don't know, mid to late November. About as late as I'm able to fish it. I'll usually find some hanging out over here. That's why he's fighting kind of funny. Yeah. I'm gonna get him in the net. I don't want to get reaching into that water too much. Dude, they just do not like going in the net today. Look at that. Another one on that Bass Assassin Elite Shiner. Get some sunlight on it. Beauty of a fish there. Well, this spot seems to be holding them today. We'll get that minnow back out there and we'll see if we can get another one. Oh yeah, look at that. 3 casts in a row. Man, this is exactly the type of day I hoped to have out here today. Needed a day like this after taking a few days off, or a few weeks. Just a little guy, but steady action out here today. Here we go. This one's got some big head shakes. Oh yeah, it's a nice fish. Get up here. Wow, that one's a tank. Come here, let me grab you. Jeez, look at that. Beautiful fish. We better get a measure on that one too. Ooh, 18 3/8. That one is officially the biggest fish of the day. Just a thick fish too. Nice. Well, I've got one more spot to try up here. We've got another point that leads into a bay here. Got this one here and then this one up here. This one is usually the productive one because there's some big boulders out in a little bit deeper water out in front. So we'll give it a little time over here. See if we can catch a couple more before I call it quits for the day. Here we go. What is this? Oh, I figured it was going to be one of them. Pike. Yeah, he came up and grabbed that jig while it was moving there. Come here, you. Let me get that jig back from you. Just need him to stay open for a second so I can get my plastic back from him. That's a pretty decent pike. Not bad for a bonus catch. Might be about all that there is off of this point today is pike. Been here about 15 minutes so far. I haven't had any other action yet. Yeah, I'm gonna retie that. It's getting a little bit frayed up toward my knot there. There we go. That one dumped it good. Nice. Starting to wonder if there's any smallies over here. But I found one at least. Come there, you. There's a decent one. Not a bad fish at all. They're all just so thick and healthy looking. I'm gonna give it one more cast out in front of this point. So I spent about a half hour fishing my way out in front of it here. Didn't have a whole lot of action at this spot. I caught the one pike and found one smallie over here, but I don't think the bass have really moved in on this spot yet. It's really more of a late fall spot. I'll find them here the last week or two before it ices up. It's down here at the deep end of the lake. It's really more rock structure than weeds, and today it seems like the bass prefer to be hanging around the weeds. No complaints out of me though. we hammered them pretty good at the few other spots that we fished out here. But I think that's gonna do it for today's trip. It's about that time for me to paddle back to the launch. I've still got a ton of work to do at the new place back in town, so I'm gonna head back and get going on some of that. I don't know, maybe I'll do a home tour type video once we get it all set up and situated there, but it's kind of a mess right now. I've got boxes and totes all over and paint cans and about 100 different projects going on, so it's definitely nice to be able to get out here today and spend a little relaxation time out here on the water and catch a few smallies. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Thanks for coming along with me again. I'll see you next time.